Did you know that the average airline makes just about $7 in profit per passenger? That's less than the price of a coffee and sandwich at most airports. Shocking, right? Because if tickets alone don't bring in big profits, then where is all the money really coming from? The truth is far more surprising than most people realize. And once you see how airlines actually make their money, you'll never look at your ticket the same way again. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind is tickets. But here's the catch. Not all seats on a plane are equal. On a British Airways flight from London to New York aboard a Boeing 777, economy passengers might have paid as little as $76 for their ticket. Meanwhile, business class travelers shelled out more than $6,700, and first class passengers spent as much as $8,000, $1,700 for the very same flight. The result? Less than 40% of passengers end up generating 2/3 of the flight's revenue. That's why airlines pour so much money into premium cabins. Those flatbed seats, fine wines and private suites aren't just for luxury, they're the backbone of the airline's profits. In fact, Delta alone made more than $200 million in just one quarter of 2024 from premium services. But not every airline works this way. Low-cost carriers like Ryanair or Spirit have built an entirely different business model. Their strategy isn't to pamper passengers, it's to pack as many people as possible into the aircraft with rock-bottom fares. But here's the clever trick. Those cheap tickets are just the bait. The real profits come from what the industry calls ancillary revenue. That means charging for every little extra. Checked baggage, seat selection, priority boarding, Wi-Fi, snacks, even scratch cards on board. And when you multiply those charges by millions of passengers, the numbers explode. In 2023 alone, airlines worldwide earned nearly $118 billion just from extras. Ryanair gets more than 36% of its revenue from these fees, while American Airlines earns closer to 15%. It's a brutally simple model. Sell the ticket cheap, then charge for everything else. Want a bag? Pay. Want to pick a seat? Pay. Hungry? Pay again. And for the airline, every small charge snowballs into billions. But here's the part most passengers never even think about. Not all the money comes from the people sitting on board. Beneath your feet in the cargo hold lies another hidden stream of income. Passenger planes often carry goods, everything from Colombian flowers to Chinese electronics. On a single commercial flight, cargo alone can generate up to $2,400, or about 7 to 8% of the flight's total revenue. It may not sound like much, but on razor-thin margins, that's often the difference between losing money and turning a profit. During the pandemic, when passenger demand collapsed, airlines like Emirates, Lufthansa, and Air France even loaded boxes into passenger cabins just to stay afloat. Cargo became their lifeline, and for many airlines, it still brings in hundreds of millions every year. Yet the biggest secret money machine in aviation has nothing to do with flying passengers or goods. It's the frequent flyer program. What started decades ago as a simple loyalty perk has evolved into a multi-billion-dollar business empire. Airlines now sell millions of miles to banks, which use them as rewards for credit card customers. Each mile costs the bank only fractions of a cent, but it keeps customers loyal to their cards. And airlines get instant cash, no plane required. In 2024, Delta raked in $3.8 billion from its SkyMiles program alone, and American Airlines earned more than half of its profits from selling miles. The best part for airlines, many of those miles are never even used. They expire or go forgotten, meaning the airline keeps the money with no seats lost. These programs are so valuable that United once mortgaged its Mileage Plus program for financing. In other words, loyalty points can be worth more than an entire fleet of planes. And there's another clever trick. Airlines have learned how to make money even when someone else is flying the passengers. This happens through code shares and alliances. You might buy a ticket on Delta, but the plane you step on is operated by Virgin Atlantic. Both airlines share the revenue. Global alliances like Star Alliance, or SkyTeam, and oneworld connect airlines worldwide, letting them expand networks and offer more destinations without buying more planes. In some cases, entire route profits are pooled, like the partnership between American Airlines, British Airways, and Iberia across the Atlantic. Less competition, more shared profits. Now, making money isn't only about bringing in revenue, it's also about keeping costs down. And this is where airlines get strategic. Instead of spending hundreds of millions to buy an aircraft outright, many lease them from specialized companies. Today, nearly half of the world's airplanes are leased. That gives airlines flexibility. If demand falls, they return planes. If demand rises, they lease more. During the pandemic, some airlines even sold their own planes to leasing companies, then leased them back to raise quick cash. Meanwhile, low-cost airlines take efficiency to an extreme. Ryanair sticks to the Boeing 737, EasyJet sticks to the Airbus A320, and by limiting themselves to a single aircraft type, they save money on training, spare parts, and operations. They even fly to cheaper secondary airports instead of big hubs, cutting fees dramatically. The result? Lower costs and cheaper tickets that still generate profits. But even then, the game is about one thing: keeping seats full. Every empty seat is wasted money. Before the pandemic, global load factors, basically how full the planes are, averaged around 82 to 84%. Iberia hit nearly 88% in 2023. LATAM reached 84%, and Ryanair boasted a jaw-dropping 94%. That means almost every single seat was sold. But occupancy alone isn't enough. Price matters too. Sometimes a flight at 80% capacity with high fares earns more than one at 100% with cheap fares. That's why airlines rely on advanced algorithms to constantly adjust ticket prices in real time. The person next to you might have paid double or half what you did. And to the airline, it's always better to sell the last seat for €5 than to let it go empty, because those €5 are pure profit. And still, the creativity doesn't stop. Airlines also squeeze out revenue through advertising, turning planes into flying billboards. Seatback screens, in-flight magazines, overhead bins, even entire fuselages can be branded for cash. On top of that, airlines quietly act as travel agencies. When you book a flight online, you're offered hotels, car rentals, or tours. Each one comes with a juicy commission for the airline. It's an invisible revenue stream most passengers never notice. So the next time you board a flight, remember this. You're not just stepping into an airplane, you're stepping into one of the most complex money-making machines on the planet. Every seat, every bag, every snack, every mile, and even the cargo beneath your feet is carefully designed to squeeze profit out of the sky. And that's $7 of average profit per passenger. It hides a billion-dollar web of strategies that keep the aviation industry alive. The truth is, airlines don't just sell you a ticket, they sell you an entire experience, piece by piece, until the journey itself becomes their business model.